Hey, what's up everyone? It's your girl Brain Shanae, and today I want to share with you the books that I'm going to be reading in September, or my September reading plans. So if you want to know the books I'll be reading in September, please stay tuned. And I am back, and also if you're new to my channel, welcome. If not, welcome back. So like I said before, I'll be sharing with you my September reading plans. Now, I say September reading plans because I have become a mood reader. So throughout the month, I end up changing my mind on what I want to read. So who knows what my wrap up is going to consume of at the end of the month, because I always change my mind in the middle of the month. And I'm like, okay, I'm not in the mood of reading this book. Let's go on to this book. So that's how I am right now. So I don't do TBRs, as some of you already know. So that's why I stick to, reading plans, because those are my plans, but plans are bound to change. You know what I'm saying? So the first book that I'll be reading in September is The Mirror, The Broken Wish by Julie C. Dowell. This is a series where it's pretty much like fairy tales, but it goes through different generations. So I believe the second book is going to be by Danielle Clayton, which I think is called Shattered Mirror or something like that. I'm not sure. But yes, this follows like family curses, a family curse that, goes throughout the centuries. And so it says family curses always start somewhere. And I do love the cover, and I know that they changed the cover up for this book for the paperback so that it matches with the rest of the series, but I'm gonna keep my hardcover, there's no point. But yes, let me go ahead and read the synopsis for this book so you can get a gist of what it's about and what you'll be expecting throughout the series. So it says The Mirror, Broken Wish marks the first book in an innovative young adult series written by Julie C. Dowell, Danielle Clayton, J.C. Cervantes, and Ella McKinney, following one family over several generations and the curse that plagues it. Welcome to a new sort of fairy tale. So this book is located in Hanau, Germany in 1865. 16-year-old Elva has a secret. She has visions and strange powers that she will do anything to hide. She knows the warnings about what happens to witches in their small village. She's heard the terrible things people say about the Witch of the North Woods and the malicious hunts that follow. But when Elva accidentally witnesses a devastating vision of the future, she decides she has to do something or do everything she can to prevent it. Tapping into her powers for the first time, Elva discovers a magical mirror and its owner, none other than the Witch of the North Woods herself. As Elva learns more about her bargaining magic and the lines between hero and villain start to blur, she must find a way to right past wrongs before it's too late. So yes, I started reading. I actually started reading this, and I'm really enjoying it. It's really not that big of a book. It's really fast paced. It's actually action packed. It gets right down to the nitty gritty right when you start reading it. So I'm definitely looking forward to reading this. And I think the second book of this series comes out in October. So I cannot wait to read that by Danielle Clayton. So here's one book that I'll be reading in September, or that I am reading. The next book, now I'm going to be part of a live on Bethany's Beautifully Bookish Bethany's channel. The live is going to be on the 24th at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, and that's going to be for the 5th season by N.K Jeminsin. I haven't read this series at all, and you're wondering, like, where have you been? And I know, like, I don't know what it is. Like, N.K Jeminsin, I always want to read her, but I'm so intimidated, and I don't know why. And then people tell me, like, you're not going to get it right off the bat on what she's talking about, in this book. And I'm like, oh, no. Because I'm that person, like, I need to know, right? So, but I guess if I want to know, I have to continue on with the series. So I decided to get myself together and go ahead and read this book, and I'm not going to be the only one reading it, so that's perfect. And also, if you wanted to do like a read along with me, like a buddy read throughout this month, just let me know. I think I'm going to start reading this book, I believe on the 12th or 13th. So I will start a Discord if you want to join. I'll leave the link down below and everything so that we can start on the 13th or whatever, the 12th or 13th, when we'll start reading this book. But like I said, the live is on the 24th on Bethany's channel at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. I'm looking forward to discuss this book, especially since this is my first time reading it. So I would love to hear everybody's insights on the book, especially people that have already read this already, so me being fresh and stuff reading this, who knows? But I'm really excited to read this and finally be brave enough to read this. So yeah, so this is another book that I'm definitely going to be reading in September for sure. Oh, and I might as well give you the synopsis. Like, what the heck? So, if I can, because I don't think there really is. So, is really a synopsis on this book. It just says, discover the Broken Earth trilogy, historic winner of 3 consecutive Hugo Awards for Best Novel, a New York Times notable book of 2015. It says, this is the way the world ends for the last time. It starts with the Great Red Rift across the heart of the world's sole continent, spewing ash that blots out the sun. It starts with death, with a murdered son and a missing daughter. It starts with betrayal and long dormant wounds, rising up to fester. This is the stillness, a land familiar with catastrophe, where the power of the earth is wielded as a weapon and where there's no mercy. So this sounds really good. And I don't know why I'm just not reading it, but it's perfect. But yeah, so this sounds really intense and I'm all for it. So there we go with this one. Next book is Kata Witch by Nnedi Okorafor. I know I'm late to the party, so I know the 3rd book comes out next year in January 2022. So I'm like, okay, I need to go ahead and read this and see what it's all about. And I'm really excited. I saw the hardcover edition and it wasn't matching with the other editions because I'm guessing there was a change up with the covers. So I went ahead and got the paperback so that it goes along with the rest of the books that they have. So yes, so let me read this one synopsis. So it says, Sunny doesn't seem to fit in anywhere. The reason why will change her life forever. Sunny Nakuwaze lives in Nigeria, but she was born in New York City. Her features are West African, but she's albino. She's a terrific athlete, but can't go out into the sun to play soccer. There seems to be no place where she fits in, and then she discovers something amazing. She is a free agent with latent magic power, and she has a lot of catching up to do. Soon she's part of a quartet of magic students, studying the visible and invisible, learning to change reality. But just as she's finding her footing, Sunny and her friends are asked by the magical authorities to help track down a career criminal who knows magic too. Will their training be enough to help them against a threat whose powers greatly outnumbers theirs? So yes, definitely looking forward to reading this. And yeah, I'm a little bit late to the party, but it's okay. Better late than never, right? I'm definitely going to read it. So I have this book that I'm going to be reading in September. Then following Kata Witch, I have Kata Warrior. So this is the 2nd book. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to read both of these books in 1 month because I really want to know what's so great about these books. So here we are, the 2nd book. and of course, this is Sunny, of course, on the cover. And you know, obviously she's changed. And I can't wait to read the 1st book to know what her transformation has been and then how she has become in this one. So for this synopsis, it says mysteries, marvels, and magic. After Sunny Nawazi, an American-born Nigerian girl, was inducted into the secret leopard society and began to develop her magical powers, she learned that she had been chosen to lead a dangerous mission to avert an apocalypse brought about by the terrifying masquerade Akawenzu. In preparation, Sunny has continued studying with her mentor, Sugar Cream, while struggling to unlock the secrets in her strange Nisbidi book. Now stronger and feistier, Sunny knows she must confront her destiny. With the support of her Leopard Society friends, Orlu, Chichi, and Sasha, and of her spirit face, Anuwau, she will travel through worlds, both visible and invisible, to the mysteries town of Osisi, where she will fight a climatic battle to save humanity. Much honored Nnedi Okorafor, winner of the Hugo, Nebula, and World Fantasy Awards, merges today's Nigeria with a unique world she creates. Kata Warrior blends mythology, fantasy, history, and magic into a compelling tale that will keep readers spellbound. So this sounds really good too. So, of course, after I read this one, I'm going to read this one. That way I caught up with everybody and now I'm just anticipating for the 3rd book, which I gotta wait till January, but it's okay. I will wait patiently. Then the next book that I'll be reading, which I'll probably be listening to on audiobook, is A Court of Wings and Ruin. I had read A Court of Mist and Fury last month. Well, technically I listened to it on audiobook last month. So I'm continuing on reading the series because I want to catch up. So I want to read, right here, A Court of Frost and Starlight and A Court of Silver Flames. That way I can catch up. And I won't be so behind anymore. So yes, I'll be pretty much listening to this on audiobook. And I believe this is a continuation. So on here it says, A nightmare. I told Tamlin I was the nightmare. Farah has returned to the Spring Court, determined to gather information on Tamlin's maneuverings and the invading king, threatening to bring Prithian to its knees. But to do so, she must play a deadly game of deceit, and one slip may spell doom not only for Farah, but for her world as well. As war bears down upon them all, Farah must decide who to trust amongst the dazzling and lethal High Lords, and hunt for allies in unexpected places. In this thrilling third book of the Court of Thorns and Roses series by #1 New York Times bestselling author Sarah J. Maas, the earth will be painted red as mighty armies grapple for power over the one thing that could destroy them all. So yes, looking forward to reading this, and just to continue on with the series, because like I said, a lot of people have read this already and I'm just catching up. They've already read A Court of Silver Flames, so I'm almost there. So I'm going to be listening to this on audiobook. I don't know what it is, but when I listen to audiobook, I get through the book a little bit faster as per reading the book physically. So yes, so here's another book that I'm going to be listening to on audiobook. Next book, which was an option on Book of the Month for September, but I was able to get an early hardcover copy by the publisher, and that is In Every Mirror She's Black. This is the author's debut book. It's Lola Akinmede Akastorum. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. If not, I'm so sorry. But yeah, In Every Mirror She's Black. And of course, the cover. It got me before I even knew what the story was about. And even the story made me want to know more about, okay, I need to read this book. So let me go ahead and read the synopsis for this one. So it says, an arresting debut about 3 Black women linked in the same influential white man as they built new lives in Stockholm. Successful marketing executive Kemi Adeyemi is lured from the U.S. to Sweden by Johnny von Luden, CEO of the nation's largest marketing firm, to help fix a PR fiasco involving a racially tone-deaf campaign. A killer at work but a failure in love, Kemi's move is a last-ditch effort to reclaim her social life. A chance meeting with Johnny in business class en route to the U.S. propels former model-turned-flight attendant Brittany Ray Johnson into a life of wealth, luxury, and privilege, a life she's not sure she wants, as the object of his unhealthy obsession. And refugee Muna Saeed, who lost her entire family, finds a job cleaning the toilets at Johnny's office as she works to establish her residency in Sweden, and, more importantly, seeks connection and a place she can call home. Told through the perspectives of each of the 3 women, In Every Mirror She's Black is a fast-paced, richly nuanced contemporary social novel that explores the deepest depths of what it means to be a Black woman navigating a white-dominated society. Amen. Because that is so true. I believe Britt Ryderly, Cachet, Bree from Lock Beautician, Ashley from Bookish Realm. I forget the other person they had done. They've been doing a series where you're like Black in the social place or in business and stuff like that. I believe that was, I forget the exact title, but they had a video, I believe last week or a couple days ago about it. I was listening into it for a little bit, of course, but I had to take care of the children. And so, yeah, I was like in and out of the live as I was listening, but they were talking about pretty much, Black women, Black people, or Black people in general in white society, in the white dominated, white society businesses, So it was very interesting. And this definitely is something that brings to mind when I read the synopsis to you all. So definitely looking forward to reading this. I can relate, especially before the pandemic. I used to work in a dental insurance company, and it was definitely white dominated, and it was very interesting. It was very awkward. There were certain things that it baffled me, but it didn't surprise me though. It baffled me because, they made me believe certain things. But then again, it also didn't surprise me the longer that I started working there. A lot of things began to change and a lot of things started to become obvious. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to reading this in September as well. Now, the next book that I'll be reading, which doesn't come out until I think September the 14th, and that is Defy the Night, which is up here, by Bridget Kammerer. Now, I was trying to read her other series. I think it was called, let me see, I'm trying to look it up. A Curse So Dark and Lonely. and I just couldn't get into it. I couldn't get into the world. I was a little bit bored. So I want to try to give her another chance and read this new series called Defy the Night. So it sounds really interesting. So let me go ahead and read the synopsis for this one. So it says, from New York Times bestselling author Bridget Kemmerer comes a blockbuster fantasy series about a kingdom divided by corruption. The prince desperately holding it together, and the girl who will risk everything to bring it crashing down. The kingdom of Kandala is on the brink of disaster. Rifts between sectors have only worsened since a sickness began ravaging the land. And within the royal palace, the king holds a tenuous peace with a ruthless hand. King Haristan was thrust into power after his parents' shocking assassination, leaving the younger Prince Korik to take on the brutal role of the king's justice. The brothers have learned to react mercilessly to any sign of rebellion. It's the only way to maintain order when the sickness can strike anywhere. And the only known cure, an elixir made from delicate moonflower petals, is severely limited. Out in the wilds, apothecary apprentice Tessa Cade is tired of seeing her neighbors die. They are suffering and ignored by the unyielding royals. Every night, she and her best friend, Wes, risk their lives to steal moonflower petals and distribute the elixir to those who need it most, but it's still not enough. As rumors spread that the cure no longer works and sparks of rebellion begin to flare, a particularly cruel act from the king's justice makes Tessa desperate enough to try the impossible, sneaking into the palace. But what she finds upon her arrival makes her wonder if it's even possible to fix Kandala without destroying it first. Set in a richly imaginative world with striking similarities to our own, Bridget Kemmerer's captivating new series is about those with power and those without, and what happens when someone is brave enough to imagine a new future. Which is crazy how she mentions how it's similar to our own. It sounds like today, as far as, with COVID and stuff like that, and the cases, and, the government is just bickering amongst themselves, not thinking about the people. It's just a lot. There's a lot going on, and it sounds very similar. Very, very similar to our world today. So much. It's crazy. But yeah, so I want to give Bridget Kemmerer another try. So I want to go ahead and read Defy the Night by her and see what I think. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on the other series. I know I might not be the only person who thought it was a little bit slow or boring. And there's some people that really did love it. I just really couldn't get into it, I couldn't. But let me know what you thought about it, and if you are planning on reading Defy the Night. So yeah, that's the other book that I'll be reading in September. And lastly, the final book possibly that I'll be reading in September is White Smoke by Tiffany D. Jackson. Yes. I've been anticipating this book. This is like a thriller, probably some horror in it. I'm all for it. I know Ashley from the Bookish Realm read it and she said it was spooky, it was scary. So I'm all for that. I love scary things. I just love scary stuff. I love scary movies. I love all that jazz. So I'm definitely looking forward to reading White Smoke. So let me go ahead and read the synopsis. And also, it comes out September 14th, which I already pre-ordered it. So once it comes in the mail, I'm definitely going to partake in this book and read it. But let me go ahead and read the synopsis for this. So it says, The Haunting of Hill House meets Get Out in this chilling YA psychological thriller and modern take on the classical haunted house story from New York Times bestselling author Tiffany D. Jackson. Mary Gold is running from ghosts. The phantoms of her old life keep haunting her, but a move with her newly blended family from their small California beach town to the embattled Midwestern city of Cedarville might be the fresh start she needs. Her mom has accepted a new job with the Sterling Foundation that comes with a free house, one that Mary now has to share with her bratty 10-year-old stepsister, Piper. The renovated picture-perfect home on Maple Street, sitting between dilapidated houses, surrounded by worry neighbors, has its secrets. That's only half the problem. Household items vanish, doors open on their own, lights turn off, shadows walk past rooms, voices can be heard in the walls, and there's a foul smell seeping through the vents only Marie seems to notice. Worse, Piper keeps talking about a friend who wants Marie gone. But running from ghosts is just a metaphor, right? As the house closes in, Marie learns that the danger isn't limited to Maple Street. Cedarville has its secrets too, and secrets always find their way through the cracks. So, I'm definitely for this book. So much. I love Tiffany D. Jackson and her writing. It's very creepy, crazy. it just has you wondering what's going to happen next. That's the type of writing she has. I really love that so much because it's unpredictable. It's unpredictable, which I so love when I can't predict a book, because if I can predict it, I'm like, oh God, I don't know if I'm going to like this book. But her books are so unpredictable. It has me like going which way and that way. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like her writing is amazing and I cannot wait to read this book. But that is it, you guys. That is my September reading plans. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said before, with the 5th season, the first book, series by N.K Jeminsin. I will leave the Discord link down below if you want to join me on reading it starting, I'm going to say maybe the 12th or the 13th. So yes, I will leave that link down below if you want to join, and that'll be fun to read it along prior to the live show on the 24th on Bethany's channel at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. So definitely join us whenever you can. It will be so much fun. But yes, thank you so much for watching this video, guys. If you did love this video, please give me a thumbs up. Also hit that subscribe button and that bell to be notified when I upload more videos in the future. But thank you so much for watching, you guys, and please stay healthy and stay safe. See ya.